Hey everyone, Josh here. So today we are doing the infamous CJAA thermostat. So this is a thermostat assembly. You can't just replace the thermostat inside of there. You got to do the whole assembly. So this is similar to the kind of like the V10 video I did a little while ago, except it looks like it's a lot harder to do. They stick it in a wonderful spot in there. We've got our lower rad hose, which is this connection. Not too bad to get at. Got this top one here, which goes to the coolant ball. So that's really easy to get at. This one here goes to the upper rad hose assembly, which is in there. Comes over to here. And then this one goes onto the coolant rail, or I'm not sure what you want to call it. But there's a steel rail that goes in behind the oil filter housing. And it goes over to the one of the heater core hoses. I've got the front clip off here for other repairs, so this repair is going to make it a little bit easier to get at. You might, if you're not taking the front clip off, you're gonna have to take your ASV or your EGR and your ASV valve out of the way. Looks like it'd be a lot easier without an alternator there. And then the other issue is I think we're gonna have to loosen this coolant rail off. And there's a bolt in behind there, but this one's really rusty, so you can't get on it on a straight shot. So I'm not sure what to think there. I don't want to have to take the oil filter housing off as well, because you're getting into a lot of hoses and junk in that area. So it's not a fun job, it's not a 5-minute job, and this isn't necessarily something you're going to change with every timing belt replacement. So I'm going to start off, I'm going to get this charge pipe off. Just this clamp up here. There's a bolt in behind there, and then one onto the side of the engine, so really not too bad. The biggest issue is your map sensor. You get that unclipped and then try and get that fed past the AC lines here if you don't want to take them off. Okay, so nice and easy, we got the charge pipe out of there. Just wiggles that out. So next we're going to get this lower rad hose out of here, just on that connection there. We're going to get the one going to the coolant ball out of there. I'll probably actually get the coolant ball right out of there as I'm doing the timing belt next. And then we're going to get the rad out, or not the rad, the alternator. So quick and easy, just 2 bolts on the front here. And then you got the main power wire. There's a clamp down underneath there and the exciter wire up top here. So nothing too crazy, but that should give us a little bit more wiggle room here yet. Okay, so these 2 bolts are nice and accessible with the alternator out of there. So I just got this clamp in behind here, and then it's bolted to that rail that I gotta loosen off here yet. So if you're doing this with taking the EGR and the ASV off, you've got this support underneath here. So a bolt there, and then a bolt down there. I think I might leave it on for what I'm doing, but if you've got to take it off, that's just a little bit easier to see. The dipstick tube also up there, down there, and it seems to get seized into the block, so I might just leave that if I can. But these clamps, they all seem to be in awkward positions. I've got these clamp pliers, they work pretty good, so you can kind of get in there and get on there nicely, and then these tips swivel, so that's definitely handy to have. The other option are these cable pliers that you just go like that. So they are a bit of a pain to get at, so some decent tools definitely make it a bit easier. Okay, so I got this little line out, I just unbolted it from the filter housing, and then this line here bolted to the front of it here. So the only thing we've got left is the coolant rail, I guess. I don't know if you'd call it that. So that's got that bolt in the back there. That's going to be a pain to get at. And there's also a triple square down in here, just around the plastic housing. Actually, we go back to the engine here, we should be able to see it. So there's that one there that I've already showed you. And then triple square right there at the back. That's what's holding the back of this rail on. So nice and simple. That one shouldn't be too bad, but that one's going to be a pain. Okay, so that one came out really easy. Surprisingly, that looks like it is a triple square. But somehow I got lucky with a 6mm ball end Allen and it cracked free. And then the back triple square is a M12 and it's still in there. So now should be able to get in there with a flat screwdriver and get the rail slid over, and then probably unbolt here and kind of shimmy the two apart. And just like that, it's wiggled free. So you've got that feed tube on the back. Get that feed tube on the back. So what I had to do was take the DSG line off of here. Basically put a pry bar in like that and kind of held the line tight to the nipple, and then just kind of shimmy and shake this thermostat off. Also had a flat screwdriver, you kind of pry in there a little bit. But yeah, that's definitely not much fun. I had a heel bar as well. I was using a little bit, and of course it's stuck in there pretty good. It's obviously original, so. Alright, so we're ready for reassembly. So you're gonna want to make sure you clean up the inside of this hole really nice where the O-ring sits. So as you can see, it gets pretty crusty. You don't want to tear your new O-ring. I cleaned up the face a little bit too, so everything can get pulled in square, because it was a little bit rusty, but not too bad. And then I lubed up the surface as well as the new O-ring on that feed tube. So now we're going to go back together. It should slide together a bit nicer without that O-ring stuck on it. And then, yeah, we're going to want to make sure we get in there and then go in nice and square. That way you don't roll this new O-ring. So it's going to kind of suck if you put that in and then you wreck that O-ring. It's going to take you quite a while to put everything together and then find out you got a leak and then you got to take it all apart. So you're going to want to be very careful with this. Okay, so we're back together. It's good and tight. The split tube or feed tube, whatever you want to call it, that's all sitting how it's supposed to be. That bolt out there, I got rid of the old one. I put just a regular hex in with an Allen bolt in the center, so I can either use a 10mm swivel socket or a 5mm ball end to get it out in the future. And then yeah, I just tighten that back down, nothing special there. So now we can get back to putting all these lines back on. Alright, so I got that top one slid on. So what I found worked really good was if you slid the clamp on, you can kind of get it up onto the stop here and then kind of squeeze the hose in and through, and then using the hose clamp pliers you can just get in there and open it up and then slide the hose on while sliding the clamp onto the hose. So it worked pretty good. You can also get this harness out of here and have a bit more wiggle room. So then up next, the alternator, you're going to notice it came off pretty tight. These rusty sleeves actually slide and pinch tight to the frame here. So what works pretty good is if you put the bolts, thread them in, and then between using pliers and a gentle tap from a hammer somewhere, you can kind of push those back, and then this alternator is going to slip in there nice and easy. But other than that, I'm going to finish the video here. I'm not going to worry about putting the coolant lines on because I'm doing the timing belt next. Just one thing I thought I would just mention here is both the alternator cable that runs in behind here, as well as this main engine harness that goes to everything. It's a bit of a bad spot for it, I kind of think. So yeah, in the future you might want to, if you end up with some wiring gremlins, that's probably a pretty suspect spot for where it's gonna rub through. You can see it's really pinched. I don't think there's enough harness. If I was to get the dipstick out, I don't think I could get it out the other side. I just don't think there's enough wiggle room. So I just thought I'd show that in case people have issues in the future. But anyways, thanks for watching. Hopefully this helped, and if you're doing it with the front end on, good luck. So thanks for watching.